Isn't it amazing how in our lives, when we have adversity, when we have challenges, we can grow from it? And it actually, a lot of times, our why, our passion stirs from that place.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of times people are still afraid of conflict. They don't like conflict. They want it to go away. They never want to have conflict again. And yet, I often have to remind people that conflict is also the source of ultimate
Mm-hmm.
creativity, growth, enhancement, achievement. It gets you to look at things in new ways, especially if you have good communication with people that you have differences with. So it's a powerful fuel for doing things better and better year after year. But if you
Mm.
shy away from conflict, you don't have that opportunity to grow.
I remember you saying that in the 2-day class that we took. You said people, their whole thing is they want it to go away. And it's not about going away. It truly is, how do you manage it effectively? And it changed my paradigm, because I used to think as well, it's like, how do we just not, we're going to resolve it. We need it to go away. And it's not good or bad. That was another thing you taught me, is that conflict isn't good or bad. It's what we deem it as. Like, we're the ones that put that label on it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And conflict is a troublesome word for the reasons that people have been hurt by it. But it
Yeah.
might be interesting to know that when Ken and I first put a title on our instrument, it was simply called the mode instrument. Mode
Okay.
being management of differences exercise. We didn't use the word conflict. We just focused on differences. And I have
That's
found that when
fascinating.
you
Yeah.
tell people, oh, we have differences we need to discuss, it's not as challenging as saying, oh, we have a conflict, which has all
Mm.
those negative connotations. So
Well,
that's
that's really,
something to keep in mind. But then when we got the instrument published, the publisher actually said, well, conflict is a hot topic and it captures attention more than the word differences. When you say conflict,
Mhm.
people
mm,
look up and say, oh, what's that about? I've felt that before. So I
yeah.
think it became as much a marketing decision to put the name conflict on the TKI.
That's really interesting because as I've been in Driven and we've done online trainings with conflict, we hear a lot of people in within teams say, "Oh, well, we don't have conflict. We don't have these big blowout arguments, so we don't need to know how to manage conflict. We just need to know how to work better as a team." So, and you've already alluded to it, but I would be really fascinated to know, how do you, Dr. Kilmann, define what conflict truly means in organizations or groups?
At the base level, conflict, as I said, is about differences. And if you
Mm.
remove the word conflict for a moment, it's less challenging to say because we grew up differently, we have different aspirations, different goals, went to different schools, live in different neighborhoods, maybe even have a different language, there's going to be differences. And with
Mm.
all the talk about globalization and diversity in the workplace, there's going to be more and more differences. With challenging problems, fast paced change, you're going to have differences. Those need to be managed. So anyone who says there's no such thing as conflict or I don't have any conflict, they're not alive. They're living in a dream world.
Mhm.
All you have to focus on, do I have different opinions and approaches than
Mhm.
the other people in my household, in my
Yeah.
workplace, on the street, in a store? That's a conflict.
Yeah, we have people, right, to Connor's point, we have people that go, "No, we don't have conflict. We never have conflict." I'm like, "You're the one that creates the conflict."